the magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
It is cold. How we all doing this Saturday night? It's the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday Night live stream main event. I'm your host, Proto Man. This is the face that runs this place. This is the voice you hear Monday to Friday. How we all doing? It is almost minus 40 here in Canada. It is ridiculously cold. You can't see it, but I have a heater running off screen here, and I have the heater running like crazy above us. So if you hear some sounds and stuff every so often, it's just the heater kicking in to make sure I don't freeze myself. This room is amazing in summer, because in summer it could be the most hottest, sweltering summer, and this room is nice and cool and amazing, so the toys don't get damaged and everything. But in winter, whoo! Proto Man is very cold. So, we got a lot to talk about this week. It's probably, without a doubt, if not a doubt, probably the busiest week in Transformer news and reveals. It just didn't let up. It was just one thing after another. There's stuff that literally, guys, I'm thinking of even saving for Monday to talk about, because I feel like I could flesh it out better in like an individual segment where I could shoot all kinds of images and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. You know? Yeah, welcome to Canada, guys. I know it's hard to believe, but look it up. Look it up. Montreal, Canada. Look with the wind chill how bad it is. It is absolutely crazy. And it's not usually this bad. It's just, I don't know, something happened, you know? Like got that kick. Got that kick. Anyways, it's just cold. It's cold. But it'll warm up a little bit. So, we got a lot of news we're going to cover. There's a lot of stuff we're going to cover. A lot of stuff I didn't cover this week. I'm going to be talking about it today. Little things here and there also. It's going to be a busy evening between us. So if you want to be a part of tonight's stream, again, hit that super chat button and give your opinion on the craziness that's been happening this week. And I will read it out, answer it, and or otherwise. Again, welcome to our YouTube members. Those are the green names on there. Michael Koo, the legend. Link CW, Princeton Phalanx, JR Mina from the Philippines, Abraham, Lizard Sphere X, Mike Rosen, Andy Davis. Who else am I missing here? Rodimus Power on Toy Unboxing. Just to name a few. I'm sure more will be piling in as we get this party started. So let's jump into that, shall we? We're going to start first with what started on our Tuesday. And by the way, guys, at the end of this stream, for those who stick around to the end, I got a special announcement too. Nice little good news for Proto Man and the podcast, which I'll save for you guys at the end. But this Tuesday, we had our Transformer Tuesday, whole bunch of reveals, whole bunch of new stuff. And it got pretty crazy. So we're going to get into all of that right now. We're going to start with our very first one, which is the Core Class Grimlock. Now, I included the package art images too, because there's a bit of a discrepancy online that has been addressed by the designers like Mark and Evan, how the stock images that were provided to all of the, I guess we'll call them media retailers, he's mistransformed in Dino mode, so the package image is more correct. So that's just to give you a bit of a comparison, because some people were a little confused by how he looked. Very weird kind of tail and everything. So we'll see what happens with that. But I really like the fact that he turns into the left foot, because more than anything else, that confirms. Oh, let's try it again. There we go. That confirms my theory that I've been squawking about for the past couple of weeks, how this is going to be Dino King. And it was one thing when the Triceratops was going to be the top piece. Oh, that worked out well. It was another thing if the Brontosaurus was going to be the bottom piece. Oh, that worked out well. But when the T-Rex ended up being the left leg, I think we solidified now that we're going to town and we got Dino King coming. Oh, yeah. I'm picturing, I mean, the best case scenario, some really awesome Gen Selects box set. That would probably be the best way to go about it. That way people don't have to go hunting around. It's long overdue. This reminds me all the way back to, geez, I want to say it was like BotCon 2013 or 2012 when they did the Power Core combiners, and they did this Power Core combiner Dinobot set, and someone asked Aaron Archer, would there be a Dino King repaint from it? And he said, maybe, I don't know. And of course, that never really happened because it just wasn't in the cards. And then we got the Volcanicus from Combiner Wars, and they asked John Warden, will we see a Dino King from that? And he said, maybe. And of course, that didn't happen. But this one now really says that it's going to happen. The choices and the placements, it can't be a coincidence. It's going to be 6 members. Look at where the figures are going. You know, if it was a Volcanicus, Grimlock would have been the center, and that would have been the end of the day, and that would have been that. We're getting Dino King, people. And again, anyone who owned the original Dino King knows that he's, without a doubt, the tiniest combiner we've ever gotten from the G1 era. So it fits in perfectly. In fact, actually, as crazy as this sounds, the actual combiner of this core class might be bigger than the original Dino King figure, just to give you an idea of how small the combiner he was. So it's very apropos, if anything. I'm very excited about this. I don't care what anyone says about how ugly the individual robots look or anything like that. We're getting a Dino King in 2023 or 2024. And as a big Transformers Victory fan, if it's a selects product and they do it at a good price, you know, all 6 core classes at a slight reduction in a fancy box or whatever, even in a cardboard box, I don't care. Those Gen Selects boxes with the monochrome art, hook me up, beautiful, sign me up, I love it. Speaking of other core classes, let's jump into our next ones. Again, these ones are repaint core classes that come of no surprise. We got our Thundercracker, which now has the null rays. Skywarp had the tuning fork, as I like to call it. And before that, Starscream also had the null rays. I actually have right here, still sealed and never opened. Well, actually, he came with his little null rays. And yeah. So hopefully at some point maybe we're going to get an accessory kit, and that'll come with Skywarp's null rays, and then our 3 Seekers will all have null rays together, and just Skywarp will have an extra accessory. And speaking of extra accessory, let's talk about Nemesis Prime. So they obviously phased out the Ion Blaster in the case of putting a Energon axe in beautiful teal, because when you think of a black Optimus Prime repaint of a Nemesis Prime or a Scourge or a Black Convoy, teal is just as much as an important color as the blacks and the reds. So it's nice that that extra accessory there. It pretty much tells us that probably at some point um, that was probably on the original mold. There's probably a whole bunch of Optimus Prime molds out there during Kingdom when it was a core class that probably had those Energon axes on them, and they were just kind of threw to the side to kind of, you know, have something else, make something a selling point later. It sounds like a waste to some people. Oh, why didn't they include the Energon axe also? Because then you could do this repaint later and it sounds like a selling point because now it has this. And then who knows, maybe a year from now they'll re-release the core class Optimus, and now it'll have the gun and the Energon axe, and that'll be another selling point. And then they sold you on this mold 3 times. Welcome to business. That's just how it is, but I like it. I like it a lot. I think it looks good. And I've always had a soft spot for tiny Transformers, mostly because as a kid growing up who didn't have a lot of money, tiny Transformers were kind of my way to go. I had Micromasters, I had bootleg GoBots, I had McDonald's Transformers. Having big Transformers was almost out of the question of the budget of what existed in my life. So always have a soft spot for them, and these ones are really cool. Speaking of tiny Transformers who've now one-upped, let's talk about our Insecticon Deluxe Class Shrapnel. First thing to take away from this one, and again, guys, I did all of these segments individually and really broke it down with a lot of images and explanations. So if you want like a very deep explanation of all of this, be sure to check out those segments I did just this past week. But the big thing, the big takeaway with this is we got a whole bunch of new images since I did that segment. And I stand by that we're going to get a deluxe Insecticons chop shop from this. The choice to have those extra purple weapons pieces under his arms that connect at the back of his bug mode, his Kabuto beetle mode, um, that's pretty much leaving the 5 millimeter peg to include stuff to then do chop shop and his extra legs and stuff. Again, I visually showed a little bit of it in the individual segment. But of course, these new images were not available to me at the time when I talked about it. Now we have all these nice images. Hey man, we got back the shrapnel trademark. It's going to lead to deluxe Insecticons. Our Insecticons are now one up after being a legend scale for the longest time. This is fantastic news. I love it. It looks beautiful. Little few extra weapons, a few extra pieces. I think he looks absolutely fantastic. Michael Koo says we'll hopefully be getting McDonald's Transformer toys again this summer. That would be cool. That would be cool. Right now we have the Super Mario toys that are showing up at McDonald's. I've been trying to collect those. When I get the full set of them, I think I'm going to do a photo shoot of them. I got the Donkey Kong one, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Get a Donkey Kong toy for McDonald's. That's beautiful. It's 1982 all over again. Love it. But yeah, dig it with shrapnel. Pretty cool stuff. Love it. Then we got these two guys. I'll just cover them quickly because I think I've talked about them enough already throughout the week. The Prowls, the Crosscuts, not really much we could cover already. I talked about them on the individual segments. And yeah, it is what it is, essentially. It is what it is. And the only thing I could really take away from it is Mark just said he would have really liked to not have red wheels, but it's gang molded with the fists, and he felt that red fists are a little more important than having, let's say, black wheels and black fists. So that's why we ended up with the red wheels on this Prowl. Sam did a really good photo shoot and explained the whole design process, aspect with that. So be sure to check out his Twitter and Instagram. But I really like it. I think it looks good, and I'm pretty much down for it. I dig it. I dig it a lot. So after that, we get into my viral post on Twitter, which was Mark being probably the most passionate and dedicated individual in Hasbro right now. I literally mentioned Hasbro and go like, you got to give this guy a raise. The fact that he showed up pretty much, pseudo cosplaying as a Crash Bar, that's just amazing. Between the orange shirt and the mustache, the little Autobot logo, you know, Mark, I love you, man. Like the passion that's there, that's incredible. What's up, Larry? And again, Crash Bar, this is our junkie on two. We already saw images from him from the past couple of weeks, so there's not much really we could take away from it, except that it really looks like he's probably going to be part of a bigger, giant junkie on combiner, much like how we had a fossilizer combiner with Kingdom. It looks like they're really building up to that, and we saw a whole bunch of images from Mark and the fans of what looks like this guy here turning into a foot for some kind of giant Junkion combiner down the. Maybe we're going to see the return of the trademark of Ruination or something for this. That'd be cool. Get Junkion Ruination. That would work better with it than the combiner Combaticons from RID 2001 or Car Robots. I always preferred Valdigus, but I'm a weeb, so I kind of like those Japanese names. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then probably the most exciting of the bunch for me, and it's that of Metal Hawk. I mean, goddamn, like I can't believe that they made this out of Cyclonus. Like I don't like you don't even see it. The photos of this next to Cyclonus, you don't even see it. Obviously, if you look, okay, yeah, his shoulders are Cyclonus, his fists are Cyclonus, the upper legs are Cyclonus. Everything else is new tooling. It is absolutely insane what they did here, and I'm hearing all these reports of Metal Hawk showing up in Canada, and I went out today. I didn't see no Metal Hawk because this would have been a day one purchase. I really want to find this guy. The fact that he comes with his two blasters like the original toy, the fact that those two blasters make his rear rudders like the original toy, the fact that he comes with his titanium sword like the original toy, the head sculpt, like there is so much going on here that's just like I would have never imagined we would be getting characters like this. And I think that when Evan went to Takara and said, "Hey, we want to do Metal Hawk," they were probably besides themselves. They were so happy to hear a Western designer in Hasbro wanting to do a Japanese exclusive character. Because let's be real, outside of a few comic books by Dreamwave, Metal Hawk has zero Western influence. Like, okay, yeah, there was like a BotCon exclusive that I still to this day say was an homage to Joe Ibe, one of the first BotCon cosplayers back in the day. But man, oh man, this is just fantastic. I can't say enough about it. I mean, wow, it looks really good. It looks really, really, really good. And speaking of really good, also, one of my first Transformers was Blaster, and finally getting the twin cast repaint is fantastic too. This guy also supposedly was showing up in Canada, and I didn't see him either. So I would have, oh man, like it, what a, we are in, honestly, for all the negativity that's going on right now in the Transformer world, there's a lot of weird stuff that's going on. I get it. There's a lot of stock issues, the firings, what's going on with Wizards of the Coast. But man, to be a Transformer fan right now, we are in some of the greatest times. Like 2023 is turning out to be an MVP year for Transformers. Between characters that we never thought we would get, characters that also, let me tell you, that, between Metal Hawk and Twin Cast alone, go get yourself a Twin Cast figure right now. You're going to get a reissue that's over $150 or the original Twin Cast that's over $300, $400, or $500. And then when you talk Metal Hawk, you got a PVC that doesn't transform for like $6 and a BotCon exclusive that's over $100, a Wonder Festival model kit that's over $100. What am I forgetting here? The box set Siege of Cybertron, one that's over $100. So the fact that you're going to be able to get a dead accurate Metal Hawk that's that's going to be MSRP $34.99. I mean, what a world we live in. What a world we live in. Absolutely incredible. We got a super chat from Shockwave75. Says a Junkyard combiner has to be named Landfill. Get that Landfill name trademark back. That's another RID trademark. That was what that's the build team, what their Western trademark name was. Some good stuff right there. Mm-mm-mm. Maybe land. See, it's funny. Both Landfill and Ruination, that works out. The only one is Midnight Express. Can't, well, that won't work out. But good stuff. Good stuff. Good idea. Shockwave 75. Good stuff. But yeah, I mean, what a year we're in right now. And I mean, the amount of stuff between, if you're a Beast Wars fan, this is some hype stuff. If you're a G1 fan, this is some hype stuff. If you're an Armada fan, there's hype stuff. Like there is so much going on for every single individual. I almost feel like no one has a right to complain. Like if you're part of that one like niche part of the fandom, like, oh, I grew up with movie stuff, or I grew up with Unicron trilogy, or I grew up with animated. Everyone is getting a little something. So this is great. This is, what more could I say? And then even more, hey, do you like Transformers Prime? Or maybe you want to get an homage to UK G1? Let's talk about Skyquake, leader class Skyquake, that we're going to get a King Atlas repaint from Universe 1.0. We're going to get a Machine War Starscream repaint from this. We're going to get the G1 UK Skyquake repaint from this. And then especially the fact that it's able to combine with Needle Nose, and that's clearly the UK Predator individual thing. He comes with the chain gun, so it's Prime Skyquake, but he comes with the sword, so that could give a little bit of a nod to, oh, maybe it could be King Atlas, because King Atlas is a Diatlas homage, and Diatlas had a little sword weapon thing. And I'm pretty sure that sword weapon folds up to make a Z. So it is, I mean, geez, the guys at Hasbro and Takara, they're killing it right now. They really are absolutely killing it. It is nuts. It is absolutely nuts what we're seeing here. It is nuts. And then, of course, then Ben's like, oh, we also have the space bridge with the pipeline and all the other stuff that we're going to be getting. So stay tuned for that. Armada Megatron Leader Class, a reissue of the Dirge mold, and potentially the other two Seeker jets as he's teased, a deluxe class DevCon, a deluxe class Beachcomber, a repaint of that Voyager class Lio Prime, Lio Convoy into Dark Lio Prime or Black Lio Convoy, which was in the original Beast Wars second cartoon, and a brand new Junkion to add on to it, Axle Grease, which is probably going to be that muscle car that looks like Lockdown. Man, we're getting a lot of craziness. We're getting a lot, man. It is just what a year. What a year. And we're not done because we had Armada, we had Japanese stuff, Junkions, and all of this. Well, how about even a little tease at G2? Because then Ben's like, oh, we're also going to be taking that Holiday Prime mold that you guys saw, the Volvo, and we're going to be doing and he uses the air quotes there, a Classics Optimus Prime design to it. So we're totally going to probably see some kind of G2 combat hero Optimus Prime. What a world we're in, man. It is just, it is insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. And we're not done yet because then we saw this on top of it that we're going to have a Titan class announcement next couple weeks from now. Some new Titan class is going to go up on pre-order. We don't know who it's going to be. I put my little speculation that it could potentially be Omega Sentinel, but it could be that Nemesis. I don't think it's going to be the Nemesis. I think that one they're going to save for later because that's going to be part of the Legacy Evolution line. This feels like a Hasbro Pulse exclusive kind of thing. So it's nuts. Like it's just the amount of news, and I'm not done yet, guys. I'm not done yet. We're only 50% way through the slides. There's a lot going on today. There is a lot going on. What's up, Mikey and Louie? There's a lot going on. It is nuts. But we're not done. Because then Sam's like, oh, by the way, you guys didn't get a good look at that freezer design from Rise of the Beast. So here you go. So here's how Freezer looks. So it looks like he's going to be like some kind of like, he almost looks like an anti-air artillery turret. That's what he kind of looks like he transforms into. And then he turns into like a gun that could be held by Scourge or any other 3mm peg figure. And then he also has kind of a transformation and attachment to the back of Scourge's back, where he almost kind of becomes like a pseudo, I guess it's his version of Roller. Like how Roller or like Optimus Prime's trailer kind of had that turret on the back of it. So it's kind of like an evil version of that with a very fallen kind of color scheme. Like, man, there is just so much going on. There is so much going on. And I love it. And again, this comes from Sam's Instagram. So if you want to see more images of that, check out Sam. I believe it's Samlock. I forget how his just type Transformers Sam on Instagram. I'm pretty sure his name will come up. Tons of people are following all his craziness. He works mostly on the studio series stuff at Hasbro. So he has a lot of images of that kind of behind the scenes and the inside baseball. So check that out. But if you weren't satisfied with the movie stuff, G1 stuff, Beast Wars stuff, G2 stuff, RID stuff, Armada stuff, Japanese G1, UK G1, like all of that crazy stuff. What if you wanted waifus? You want waifus? Oh, there goes that guy. You want some waifus? Those are from Gyro Zetter. You know, you collect your waifus. Where'd that guy go? Ugh. I have my little magnetic Microman that always hangs out on top of my microphone. It fell. You want waifus? How about some waifus? Kotobukiya Bishojo revealed the next waifu in the collection of the series. I need to collect these. I need to pick these up. I really do. Wonder how cheap they are now. Don't want to get them secondhand though. So we got the Optimus, we got the Megatron, and now we have Bumblebee here, looking real good. We don't have a price or a shipment yet, but these are going to be going up on pre-order soon. So I would suggest checking out your local Japanese importer websites. They're not a sponsor, but my personal choice is Ami Ami. I really like those guys. I seem to go to them. They seem to be the best for that kind of stuff, and they also have little giveaways and everything too. They do once in a while. Really dig them. They're not sponsors. They're just my go-to for that kind of stuff. They did an interview. They did an interview with the designer for all of these. So the designer for all of these Bishojo Kotobakiyas, Shunya Yamashita. He did the G.I. Joe ones, he did the Marvel ones, he did the My Little Pony ones, and he did the Transformer ones. And they asked him, they were like, who would you like to do next? And he said, chances are we're probably going to be doing Soundwave or Shockwave next. But if I had a choice outside of doing Soundwave or Shockwave, I'd like to do either Barricade or Blackout from the live action movies, which that's interesting. Imagine how a Barricade would look or a Blackout, you know, for the live action stuff done in that Bishojo style. And he said also he'd love to do Transformers animated characters. So that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. So again, I dig these. I support this kind of stuff. There's always haters. There's always the boring, ugly, nasty, disgusting, negative, boring, enjoy the rest of your life on Twitter and Tumblr people that hate this stuff, but forget them. Those people never smile. They wake up in the morning with something stuck up their butt if they didn't already put it there voluntarily. So I don't care about those people. This stuff is awesome. Shunya and the whole Kotobukiya crew, keep doing what you're doing. And ignore the haters. Ignore the haters, please. Anyways, now let's get into some Beast Alliance stuff. So we learned at the beginning of this week that Mainline does have a name, and that is the name here. It is the Transformers Rise of the Beast Alliance. That's what they're calling it. So we got to see a whole bunch. We even got to see some this morning, and I'm just going to cover it very lightly here. I'm going to do a full segment either tomorrow or Monday and really flesh it out a little more on what's going on. But we're going to go through this quickly. I know you guys already probably heard me talk about it a lot during this week, but for those that just tune in for the live streams, just bear with me. So we got here, this is the beauty of the Battle Master price point, $5.99. Hasbro didn't increase the MSRP, although they are leaving out blast effects in order to kind of pull this off. So I guess the plastic kind of balances out in that way. But I mean, I think these look great. We're getting a Rhinox that blasts through his butt. Scatling gun, Wizard Sphere X. Anyone that saw my I think that was another tweet that went viral, my little silly tweet that I did. Shout out to anyone who was able to figure out the sound effect that I used for the Gatling gun popping out. I wonder if anyone knew where that sound effect came from. I won't say it. I'll see if anyone says it in the chat. I'll give them a little shout out. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Again, Cheetor, Rhinox, and Skull Cruncher, a blade, a chain gun, and a blaster. Pretty cool. Dig it. I guess that's how they're keeping that Skull Cruncher trademark alive. They're going to use Rise of the Beast to keep it going. You know. Then we got the Beast Changers. This is the flip out weapons. These are $9.99 MSRP, $9.99, 10 bones. And these are the ones where it's a superimposed weapon that flips out. Rhinox, Bumblebee, and of course Optimus Prime. Bumblebee has his blaster, Optimus Prime has his blade, and the chain guns of Doom are on Rhinox. But Rhinox has more chain guns of Doom later. We'll get into that in a moment. Then we got the Weaponizer price point. This was one of the first items we saw leaked as early. We learned that these characters aren't Wolfang and Tigatron as originally rumored by the people who stole these toys. That's what happens when you steal them. You don't know what you actually have. So it's Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal, and Primal comes with Arrow Stripe, and Optimus Prime comes with the Saber, what was it called? Saber Slash or something. We got a new subscriber, Matt Nutt. Matt, you better not nut while you're subscribing. Must have been from the Kotobukiya thing, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, thank you for subscribing, Matt. We got the Beast Combiners. This one's pretty cool, just because I like the whole homage to the old Beast Wars 2-pack with having an Optimus Primal with a very green crocodile. Again, we got this one here. It's $19.99, $20 for these. You get Bumblebee, you get RC, and you get Optimus Primal, and this is probably the only way you're going to get another RC for the time being. I think RC's is Silver Fang is the name of her partner, and obviously Skull Cruncher with this one, and the last one I forget his name. I think it was Saber Slash or something like that. This is all going off the top of my head. When you do the news, and there was so much news, it's hard to memorize it all, but it looks great. Then we got the battle masks and the guns. I talked about it just recently. Um, yeah, hey, Optimus Prime gets to transform into a gun, but not Megatron. Well, it is what it is, I guess. These are Nerf items, so they're gonna have Nerf little pellets and everything. But you know what's funny? Even when we had the rollout blaster, and I think it was called the barrel roll blaster was the other one. You had Starscream transforming into a gun, Optimus Prime transforming into a gun, Bumblebee's hand transforming into a gun, but you didn't have Megatron transforming into a gun. Guess that's just how it is. Link CW says, Yo, Proto, did you get a Cosmos? I just got a second one. I did not get a Cosmos yet, but I have someone that contacted me that says they might be able to hook me up with one. So I don't want to. If you could share the wealth with someone else, that'd be good. Maybe hook someone else with a second one. Right? I thanks for the offer, but I have someone right now. Shout out to Jason. He's trying to get me one. So I mean, it's been pretty crazy for a lot of people. I've been very patient though. In all honesty, I'm not too worried about getting one. It's something where if the opportunity presents itself, I'll take it. But if not, I'll just wait. I'm pretty Hasbro's not going to waste that mold between all the drama and everyone really wanting it. But hey, if there's someone else that's in the chat that you could help out, I'm pretty sure they would appreciate the hookup. I'm pretty sure. But thank you for the offer, though. Thank you. Next up, we also have the Beast Mode Bumblebee. You know, and the Beast Mode Bumblebee is going to be their expensive $49.99 price point. And I mean, the reason why I have this image on the bottom right there, I think there's a light up feature. They didn't mention it in the press release, but that's what it looks like. It looks like you squeeze the legs together, the eagle pops out of his chest, the wings pop out, and I think there's probably an LED in the head of the eagle, which adds to that also. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But that's another one of those big expensive items that's popping with that. Again, also I forgot to mention the gun, the gun convoy, whatever you want to call it. That one is $19.99, and the battle masks, those one are going to be $34.99. Those are a little pricey, those, but they are pretty large too. I mean, they're supposed to meant to fit on your face. Kind of makes sense. So we'll see what happens. And the new one that just dropped today, I'm going to do an individual segment about it, but I do want to just kind of address it here. So we have more deluxes. More of the deluxes have showed up, and we have Optimus Prime Deluxe, Rise of the Beast Alliance, and Rhinox. These images aren't the best in the world, but that's also why I'm kind of waiting on some better images. These were actually found in retail on the other side of the globe, so these are starting to show up. These are starting to show up. So hopefully by Monday, when I probably do my segment on them and really break it down, we'll have some nice out of package images and we can compare it side by side with everything. So this is very exciting. Look how nice those look. Like, especially that Rhinox. He comes with 2 chain guns, and those 2 chain guns mount on the side of also the Rhino mode. Goodness, that looks good. I like that a lot. That looks fantastic. That looks absolutely fantastic. That looks really good. So I'm gonna try to cover that possibly either tomorrow or Monday, depending on what images we get. There's also 2 other pieces of news. There was the announcement that the Super Bowl coming up, the NFL Super Bowl, is going to have a new Transformer trailer for Rise of the Beast. So even if you don't like football, just go check out the Super Bowl. It's going to be on there. There's that. And then Renegade Games, which I kind of help with also. Their new expansions are going to be coming out, the Hot Rod expansion, so stay tuned for that, as well as the new RPG. I'm going to do a separate segment on that too. I'm just trying to get all the images together to do a proper segment. Because when we do the live streams, it's kind of fast and loose, and we have a few images here and there. When I do the long form segments on the individual podcasts, I could put a whole bunch of images and every single little thing I talk about, and you guys could get all of that. So that's it more or less for the news 45 minutes of just talking about the news. Wow, we wasted a huge chunk of the live stream already just on that. 181 people have already tuned in for it. Well, we'll have an announcement at the end, a very good one. So, and it partakes to something coming up. But in the meantime, let's jump into some sponsors, and then we'll take some super chats from the fans. So get your super chats ready, people. So we're going to start with first again, Symbiote Studios, working on some really big stuff behind the scenes. They showed me the prototypes of a few of the new plushes coming out. Um, I don't want to tease too much, but they're looking real good. They're looking real good. We're probably going to have announcements for those probably by the end of the month. There's right now 4 that are ready to go. You'll probably get the full photo shoots, and they will debut here on the Transformers Slag podcast. So get ready for that. And again, Symbiote Studios, they updated all their new plushes. They're in stock right now, so be sure to get those. All the ones that sold out from the original waves, with the exception of the convention exclusive Unicron, which you got. I was telling you guys, you got to jump on that. That's a con exclusive. Maybe they'll do something for SDCC in the future. But you guys really should have jumped on that one because that thing was amazing. That was a huge pillow. Any Transformer couch needs to have that gigantic Unicron chilling over there. There he is over there staring back at me, judging me, all the mistakes that I made financially buying plastic robots. But the point being is pick up their plush while you still can, because when they sell out, it's going to be tough to do a third run at this point, especially that Grimlock. That Grimlock sold out twice already, you know. Man, oh man. But check them out. Again, really good stuff. I love the Shockwave. Shockwave's one of my personal favorites of the bunch. Looks really good. And of course, 2023, you're going to see all those new announcements. A lot of new ones coming. So be sure to check that out, as well as all their other Hasbro related stuff, the My Little Pony, the Power Ranger stuff. There's some new Power Ranger ones that are also coming, so stay tuned for that. G.I. Joe, Magic the Gathering, pins, plush, t-shirts. I'm wearing their Catnip Bravo with the shark today, the Optimus Prime pin. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I love Symbiote Studios. Again, check them out, symbiotestudios.com. Longtime sponsor of this podcast. Thank you, Symbiote Studios, for being a sponsor, but also being a sponsor that's topical, because there's so many sponsors that contacted me, and I don't want to do stuff that's not related to what the audience wants. I don't want to have to tell you guys, hey guys, you want to get I don't know, skip the dishes, or like that entire, what was it, established titles. That one, I'm so glad I didn't take that one, because it sounded so fishy, and then I ended up finding out how corrupt it was, that whole thing. So crazy stuff. So one person contacted me for jewelry, like to advertise jewelry. Another for bootleg Transformer stuff. I didn't want to do that one. Crazy stuff. And also, and deceits, yo. Um, they're still working on stuff. I know that I've been talking about it week to week. It's still very early though. They're going to be revealing all of their brand new summer 2023 product, Transformers and other licenses. So be sure to stay tuned for that, of their gaming wear, the beautiful and seats. Again, promo code ProtoMan if you want to pick one up. These seats are on sale right now. You could use the promo code and get a double sale, save 15% off, and get probably the coolest chair that you could have to be chilling with your Transformers, in my opinion. And the seats. Let's see, we got a super chat here from Abraham. What's up, Abraham? Hey, Proto, with Metal Hawk, what is the chance of getting the other 3 Master Force Autobot Pretender inner robots, or maybe an inner Con bot? Well, it looks like, look, we already got Skull Grin, and we kind of saw how they did that one, where they kind of, with the Monster Pretenders, they kind of do a fusion of the inner robot and the outer robot with a little bit of the alt mode. So I think with those guys, we kind of have an idea of what they're going to do there with Gilder, and Bloodo, as they were called in the Japanese version of Master Force. Lander, Diver, Phoenix. I don't know. I would like to see it. Like Lander, that's Landmine in America. Landmine is a trademark that they do have, so I could see them doing something with that. Diver, Submarauder. Those are trademarks that are a little more iffy. I mean, if they could convince Takara and go, hey, we want to do this, we want to do this, like we want to make this happen, like that'd be really cool. That would be really, really cool. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's something where as much as I would love, Lander with his glasses, his human mode glasses and everything, that'd be kind of cool, but we'll see what happens. It's a tough one. I mean, Master Force is already pretty much of a deep cut. I mean, we got Minerva. That was like, ooh, we got Minerva. That's good. We got Overlord. We got Metal Hawk. What's next? Could we get like a Grand Maximus done proper this time for the Western market? Could we get like, I don't know, we got Black Zarek with the Titan class. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Imagine, and this is Western market stuff. We're getting there. So it's possible. Look, I've always said anything is possible now. Anything is possible. Like now it's like if they go like, look, we're getting DevCon, like if we're going to get that Botanica one day, I know that's coming one day. We'll get Botanica. Anything is possible. The most obscure background character of Scrounge or Flame or like, Big Red, they're going to get toys at some point too. That's how crazy it is. We're going to get it all at some point for sure. But yeah, hopefully. Oh, they're Voyager classes? I don't know. I haven't looked at the images too carefully because I was out all day. Again, I'm going to do a very specific individual segment on it. And I'm going to really look at it, break down, and hopefully we'll get some better images by the time I do that segment on Monday or Sunday. I'll see how I feel tomorrow. I might be busy, so we'll see. We will see. We will see. But on top of outside of and Deceits, also again, Toy Armada. If you caught Aaron yesterday doing his live stream, he showed off a whole bunch of cool magazines and stuff. I actually pulled up two myself to show off afterwards because I was watching Aaron's live stream yesterday, and I was like, ooh, like so much of what he has, I have, and I always felt like, oh, I'm the only person that has that weird book or that weird book. But no, he had a lot of the same stuff too. It made me very happy to see that Aaron is collecting and keeping all of that stuff that he worked on throughout the years. That's very fantastic. I'm going to show you guys two weird ones too. I can't wait when I do my new setup and everything. I can show you guys better all of that. But we got all of that cool stuff going. But yeah, so check it out, Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. We did our Trans Tech episode. If you've ever wanted to know everything that you could ever know about Trans Tech and why it never happened, go check that one out. Me and Aaron Archer for about a good hour and a half talking about a canceled Transformer line and everything that would have come from it. We got a gold super chat from Joey1231. What's the 1231 for, Joey? Is that your birthday? Are you a New Year's baby almost? The gold super chat for 10 bones. Hey Proto, are the Evergreen TF designs all based on IDW or some of them from other movies, media, TV game? Just realized Earthspark Bumblebee's kibble placement is just like the Thrilling 30. The Evergreen design is really something that's a very neutral design. It's something where this was something that Hasbro talked about when they were doing the Hall of Fame. And when was that? 2010 they did the first one at Disney. BotCon Disney 2010, where they wanted to have this bit of the aligned line, the unification of like, let's take jazz. And while, jazz and animated is associated with like the Ninja Corp and stuff like that, why don't we take some of those elements and put that as part of an evergreen kind of jazz? And they've been playing with that idea for a while. That's in a lot of ways kind of what Transformers Prime and the Aligned continuity was going to be before that kind of fell off. But the Evergreen line is a little bit of that. It's a little bit of everything. It's not just IDW. It's them going like, oh, like, yeah, Windblade's there, but RC is there now. She's part of it. They're probably going to bring in other characters at some point. I mean, look, Optimus Primal is now part of it. Cheetor is going to be part of it. The Evergreen line was, let's market Transformers in a very perfect way. This is what these characters represent. Then make these lines on the side, the Titan Changers and everything, that are cheap and affordable that we could send to other regions that can't afford Transformers, like Mexico or South America, where bootlegs are very prevalent because they can't get the official product. So in order to stamp out those bootlegs, why not just put out product for that market? It's a whole inside baseball, like making sense of why that all exists. I mean, some of it's still pretty cool. I think that RC one's pretty wicked. The Optimus Primal one with the long arms looks kind of weird, but they did a small one too. They did a small Titan, small Authentics Optimus Primal I talked about not too long ago. That looks pretty cool. It's almost like a little, like you could barely see him. Could barely see him from these are the Robot Masters back in the day. It almost reminds me of the old Robot Masters one. So it's kind of that's what kind of it is. And the Thrilling 30B was IDWB. A lot of those Thrilling 30 designs were very IDW leaning. They also had like that Minicon combiner that was part of it. They, Skids, Thrilling 30 Skids was pretty much the IDW version. So hope that answers that kind of. I hope, Joey. But thanks for the gold super chat, brother. And what is what? Well, you just spammed numbers. Oh, okay, that's why. I thought it was something. Sometimes people when it's like, oh, it's proto, and then it's a whole bunch of numbers. It's usually a birthday or something. Aiden Tolbert with the super chat for $5. Imagine Megatron dreams as he plays Whack a Dinobot. I don't know how that would work. Who would have? Let's see. If you have a Whack a Dinobot, that means you would have to have a hammer. And if you have a hammer, you'd have to go with a Transformer that has a hammer. So you got to have something like the Magnus hammer or the Forge of Solus. So that's the way I kind of see it. You need to have a character that's associated with a hammer. Let's look at some green super chats. I might have missed some. I apologize for that. Timmy K Points Extra stopped by Target and grabbed a Tarn and Lio Prime for $20.99 each. Man, I gotta. I was at Walmart today, two Walmarts, and Canadian Tire, which is a Canadian brand that sometimes carries toys. I was at two Walmarts, a Toys R Us, and a Canadian Tire today. Didn't find anything, but maybe it was there yesterday and it got eaten up. The only thing new that I found there, which I had not seen yet, is they had those little micro Jada figures there. Like like how you have. Let me just pull these up. How you have like these ones, right? They had the GI Joe ones. I never saw those ones. The one with the Hiss tank and the Snowcat and stuff. So saw those. So that was like, ooh, that's new. But everything else was old. I was also looking for World of Nintendo stuff like Wendy Koopa and the new Shy Guy. Trying to track those ones. I've been trying to track down Blue Shy Guy. Couldn't find him. The large Blue Shy Guy. Hopefully I could find him at some point. And Ludwig von Koopa. Got to finish my Koopalings after 35 years. Took them long enough to start doing that. But I haven't been finding anything. So it's awesome that you found Tarn and stuff. That's good stuff, man. Especially the Lio Prime too. That's a really good one, also. Again, doing those characters that were historically so expensive to buy, and now people have an opportunity to buy it in retail, and it's a good figure. That's just great. That's just great. So we're gonna check out some books. I just also want to mention too. I forgot to mention also. I also did a talk about. We got a new subscriber, David Wormer. Thank you, David, for joining. Um, we got also Earthspark. I did the Earthspark segment that I posted today. I was going to post that on Monday, but so many people were like, please talk about this. We want you to talk about this. It's a 30-second clip, but so much happens in it. And this awesome guy is in it too. So I really was like, you know what? Okay, cool. Because it's very Shockwave, but Shockwave, Marvel Comic Shockwave, which I love that version. Every Shockwave that we've pretty much gotten outside of the Marvel comics has been very cartoon Shockwave, very loyal, whether it be animated Shockwave or Shockwave and Transformers Prime. He still was kind of loyal to Megatron a little bit, although a little bit kind of doing his own agenda and stuff. But this one clearly is a much more Marvel comic Shockwave. So I'm like, I might not be too much of a fan of Earthspark, but now I'm intrigued a little bit. I hope this is good. I hope they don't kill him off. So Shockwave's coming. So that's another one too. If you haven't checked it out yet, I did a segment breaking down that little trailer and every little microsecond of it and who's there and what's going on. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Lizard Sphere X says, I finally found a $50 McFarlane Banshee, the small dragon alien from James Cameron's Avatar. Yeah, I saw those too. Those were popping up in the collector section of Toys R Us Avatar product. So, two books today we're going to be showing off. Really nice ones here. Uh, the first one is Aaron Archer was talking about how he used to have a GoBots book that was like a guide of all the different GoBots toys, and he lost it while moving. I'm assuming he's referring to Machine Robo Wedge. This is a long out of print book that goes for stupid money today. I saw a guy sell it on eBay. This was, I want to say, a year and a half ago, right in the middle of the Big V. Some guy was selling this for, I think, $400, and someone bid on it. And the big thing about it is because it has all of the original Machine Robo GoBots, which is what GoBots was here in America, all the variants, all the Japanese exclusive stuff, all the American exclusive stuff. They even included the American stuff. Let me show you where's the American GoBot stuff they even had. Where is it? They had really cool, like all the Rock Lords, all the Rock Lords. So you get all of that. All the design images. This is, by the way, this book was made from the same people that did the Generations guidebooks. So all the design images, all the ideas that never happened. So you get all of those too. Where is it? And then you have Machine Robo Rescue. So then the modern Machine Robo stuff, Machine Robo Mugenbein, like they really fill it up. Interviews, all kinds of stuff. Here's the where is it? Where's the Rock Lords, rocks that come alive? Oh, here we go. All the actual American GoBot stuff, and all the American GoBot variants. So that's pretty cool. Where's Vanguard? Where's my boy Vanguard? Where he at? There he is. There's Vanguard, who is a GoBot exclusive, not from Shima. And then on top of it all, interviews, and then it has a DVD. It comes with a DVD that has all the commercials and all the crazy stuff and crazy quality. This book is so worth it, but out of print, goes for insane money now. So what I did is I actually painstakingly scanned this book, and it's one of my Discord exclusives. If you're part of my Patreon and part of the Discord, you're able to download the PDF of this because this book has been long out of print, and I want people to be able to have a reference and be able to enjoy it. And when I was seeing what the secondary market price for it was, what was the original MSRP was 3,300 yen, so about $40. So crazy, 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 crazy. So really good book. That's the one that I believe Aaron was talking about. And then this is one that I dug out from the archive. This is Bakon Legends. This is a really cool one. Look at all the old Bakon characters on there. This book was done by Fumihiko Akiyama, who was a regular at Bakon every single year. He was the guy who designed Metal Force Rodimus. He was the guy who designed Metal Force Optimus Prime. He worked on a few other licensed stuff with Takara, and he was a Bakon regular year after year. Japanese guy, you would always see him at Azusa's table, and he did this little chronological celebration of Bakon throughout the years, and nice full color book, showing the cosplays throughout the years, all the different exclusives, interviews. And the great thing about this book is it's bilingual. It's Japanese and it's English. Look at this fresh face Scott McNeil. Look at him. Before he looked like a hobo. I love you, Scott. I'm just kidding. Look at that. And there's Sue Blue. What year? That was 98. It's Bakon throughout the years, pretty much. Nice, cool little book. I believe it stops at 2005, just when Fun Publication took over, pretty much. But even then, even Pete Sinclair's in here. It's a cool little book, and you got the little back there too. Bakon Legends. Nice little book too. That one also didn't scan this one yet, but this one again, um, this one here, Akiyama-san. I don't know if he would want me to scan that, so I rather he make his money selling this one to people and everything. A lot of cool art in the back too, original art in the back too. A lot of nice stuff. Really cool book. Really cool book. Just two that I wanted to show from there. I have so many. Literally, I have this library of books. Like the Billies from IKEA. I have two Billies from IKEA, from roof to the ground, of just all kinds of art books and all kinds of crazy stuff I collected throughout the years. Every time I go to a BotCon or a TFCon, if one of the artists is doing an art book and there's some really prolific stuff in them, I'll always pick it up. So good stuff. And speaking of which, art books, forgot to mention it too. Aaron Archer is doing an art book. He actually has his color one that's coming too. But if you want to get volume one before this one goes out of print and you don't get these images anymore, The Art of Transforming Robots, volume one, black and white edition, Aaron Archer. Check it out on archermonster.com/shop. $20 gets you an awesome art book of Unicron Trilogy and all kinds of other Transformer art throughout the years from the guy who made it. And for an extra $15, he'll sketch whatever you want inside that book. So check it out, archermonster.com/shop. I don't even think I have that one. I remember Aaron had a whole bunch of them, but I always feel bad wanting to like take those books because it's like, I want him to sell them and let the fans get it and I'll pick one up later. Want the stock to do well. So good stuff. Good stuff, though. Really cool book. Really cool book. A lot of people picked it up at TFCon, which TFCon LA, I'm still 50-50 on what's happening with me going or not. So I can't give my 100% if I'm going to be there. TFCon Toronto, 100% I'm going to be there. TFCon Orlando, I guess that's an East Coast one that should be easier to get to. I guess I'll be there. It's so far away. I can't confirm that. That's like November of the end of the year. We're not even barely into the beginning of the year, so we'll see what happens with that. But that's it more or less. In terms of that stuff, not really much else to talk about. We'll probably just take questions for the rest of the evening. We have a good a little bit under an hour left, and yeah. Larry says he needs to bring me a copy of the book. Wait, I have a copy of a book? What? For what? For Aaron's thing? Aaron gave you a copy? Yeah. So Link CW. So Orlando, TFCon is going to be in Florida in November. That's public, I hope, right? Larry, that's public, right? I think that's public. I hope I didn't ruin something. I could have swore Colin said that publicly. Uh-oh. I thought that was known. Ooh. I think that's not known. I'm pretty sure he announced it. Um, I assume you did not check your PO box. No, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to swing by the PO box today. Today, guys, today, mayoral. Let me tell you something. It was so cold today. You have no idea. I wanted to go do my groceries, check out the toys, and get home. Like I didn't go to the post office. I didn't go to the Lego store. I was like, oh, I want to go because I go to like two different supermarkets. Sometimes I go to my Asian supermarket. I was like, forget the Asian supermarket. It was so cold. Starting the car this morning was insane. It was like, no, 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 no. Like it was really bad. It was really bad. Larry, if you didn't start your car today, start it today, man. Let me tell you. Oh, Aaron gave you a copy of the book. And Orlando is public. Okay. Okay. So Orlando is public. So yeah, so Orlando is going to be the November TFCon. The next one is LA. Then it's going to be July is Toronto, which 100% I'll be at the Toronto one, and then Orlando in November. So you got 3 TFCons to plan around, pretty much. 3 different TFCons. I bet you could do a boiling water snow thing. Oh yeah, the boiling water snow thing you could do in minus 20. I've done that a few times just for fun. Minus 30, minus 40. Good Lord. It is so cold. If you go out there when you're breathing, your nostrils just plug up. It's so bad. It is so bad today. Guys, you have no idea. I have 2 heaters blowing on me, like just lifting my hand near it. Oh, that feels good. 2 heaters, and then I got a block heater down here. Like it is so cold in this basement. And I have a mat at my feet because the floor is so cold. I normally do not have this mat here. I took the mat from upstairs. The floor is so cold that I don't even want to touch the floor. That's how cold it is. This room is amazing in summer. In scorching hot summer, I don't even need to turn on the air conditioning. This room is incredible. But in the winter, burr. The one negative of having a basement transformer collection, you know? Oh my goodness, it is crazy. Okay, Aaron Archer's here too. Perfect. So Orlando is announced. Okay, cool. Aaron, was this the book that you were talking about? The GoBots book? Was this it? I'll send you the PDF file I made of it. That way you can have it on reference. Where are we at? Where are we at? I'm sorry if I miss anything of the green chats, just repeat them. It's easier. The super chats, they pop up in my face and they stick around longer. The green chats, they disappear as they get pushed up. Ron Diaz, the great news for me. I live 3 hours from Orlando. Well, there you go, Ron. There you go. If I show up, you'll get to see my ugly mug in person. Hopefully, we could get Symbiote Studios to come down to Orlando. The last time a Transformer convention was at Orlando was BotCon 2010, and that was a pretty good show. The only negative with that was doing it at Disney made it so expensive to eat. That was the problem. Oh my goodness. $14 hot dogs, croissants were like $8. They wanted to go to sushi. I'm like, you fucking crazy? I don't want to go broke. You had to send someone to get food. That was, oof. I'm so glad they never went back there. I think a lot of people realized it was a bad idea. West Coast was so much better. Ibrahim, any word if Action Toys will make a Triple Jim figure? I'm surprised they haven't done Triple Jim for anyone who's not familiar with who Triple Jim is. Long before we had Triple Changers. Let's get our boy Triple Jim from Machine Robo, Revenge of Kronos. There he is. Good old Triple Jim, one of the very first Triple Changers back in the day. I believe he was 1984 that was released, and then he was in the show in 86, and then it got reissued. Yeah, 1984, and then reissued in 1986. So he predates our Triple Changers in the West, anyhow, by 1 year. The Diachron triple changers were available, at least 2 of them, around the same year. Actually, I think it was the same year. I think it was 84, 83, 84. Where are we at here? I hope they do it though with action toys. Speaking of action toys, maybe I got this beautiful baby. If anyone saw recently, let me just grab him. Ugh. Without a doubt, probably the sexiest Rodimus figure. Look how big he is. This is all metal, by the way. Look at that. Matrix of Leadership. I love this too. He has like if you squeeze his legs and then he transforms and stuff. Nice, beautiful Ox design spoiler with articulation on it. Easily, probably without a doubt, the sexiest piece of Rodimus merchandise I've ever owned. And it's all die cast. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. And he has the interchangeable heads, so you can make them hot rod if you want. And you can actually make them hot rod because you take off these pieces, then you can put the hot rod pieces on there to make them turn into hot rod. It's all magnets. And then I have to get with it. He comes with a big matrix of leadership outside of the small one. The small one too is in there also. Oop. There goes that piece. Haha. He has the matrix of leadership, and if you push on it, it also helps with the transformation. But he also comes with a big one where you could put a pill battery in, and it lights up when you open it. So it's like, oh my goodness, so cool. This is from Action Toys. They did this. This was their Action Toys Ultimetals S Series Rodimus Comboy. Worth every effing penny. Obari style Ox design Rodimus. The best Rodimus. The best Rodimus. Even has an interchangeable spoiler. So you could have worth every penny. Without a doubt, the best piece of Rodimus merchandise ever made. Ever made. I posted a few images on my Insta, but I'm bad at photography, so check out other people's photos if they got it. Link CW's at Daytona Beach. Very nice. So you'll be able to come join us. Lizard Sphere X. I hope the core size Volcanicus Dino King being made Hasbro will consider the other team groups to do a shirt and pants combiner before combining them together. Team. They need a ship. Well, I still think that they just need to start just doing more Japanese stuff and stop exhausting the same title. I understand they have to keep those trademarks alive. So you got to do a Prowl every 4 years, a Mirage every 4 years. But I mean, give me more Master Force. Give me more Victory. Give me more Zone. Operation Combination, Battle Stars. Imagine if we get like Sonic Bomber, from Zone, or Die Atlas, or like Road Fire, Grandis. Oh my goodness, if we got a Grandis, Titan class Grandis, no one would buy it except me. But man, would that be amazing! It would be me and Derek Wyatt. That would be it. And Derek's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Derek. But it'd be like me and Derek would be the only two people excited about that. That'd be so good. Ron Diaz, I can show you the good spots to eat in Orlando away from the tourist traps. Well, usually what we do with TFCon, which is really good, is they always put it in a location that's near cheap food. So, BotCon, it was hit or miss with that back in the day, where like the West Coast shows, like the LA shows and the California shows, they were always close to good food. I still think like the best BotCon years ever were the uh, California years. Those were always the best ones. 2011, 2013, 2015. They did a few, and I think 2009 or 2009 was Rhode Island. Um, but those were such good years. No, 2006 was Rhode Island. They're all just kind of merging together at this point. I'm looking at all the books there from them, but those were so good, and they were always near like these like street meat vendors and stuff. You could get bacon wrapped hot dogs and all kinds of good cheap food. And if you didn't want to get that, they had like they had bodegas, and they had like supermarkets. So you could just kind of just get some cold cuts and rolls and just make it in your hotel room. Great stuff. So they always do that. They always do that. But I mean, yeah, if there's some really cool stuff though, Ron, I'm always down for. I want to whenever I go to the States, I want to eat as unhealthy as possible. That's the thing. Bring me like, shout out to Chosen Prime and the crew. Like they brought me to Culver's. They're like, bro, there's a place in Chicago where they deep fry everything. You bring in broccoli, they're gonna deep fry it. So we went to Culver's and we ate stupid there. That was really good. We went to was another really good place that they brought me to. I forget the name, but it was like this one of those like kind of like a TGI Fridays looking kind of place, but like also it was like, like hot dogs, and they slit the hot dog and it opens up, and then they put bacon in it, and then they wrap it with like coleslaw. Oh, so good. So good. Andy Davis, Toy Armada is so good. Been inspired to rewatch Armada series on Tubi. There for free. Hey man, go check out Toy Armada. Go check out Aaron's channel. He talked about more stuff on his live stream recently. Um, Aaron mentioned bringing in a Beast Wars person. I just recently heard, Aaron. You're gonna get someone from Beast Wars? That's very important, because you need to get your hands on those people before they pass away, and those stories are lost forever. Those need to be recorded. Beast Wars is easily the most important piece of the Transformer brand that has the least amount of story. Like we only learned recently that McDonald's had a large portion of why Beast Wars existed. We didn't know that for years. We're getting all these internal memos and stuff between McDonald's and Hasbro. And it was McDonald's was like, yeah, if you did Beasts, that would be so much better. And it was like, oh, that's a good idea. And then, oh my goodness, who would have known? Who would have known? But check out Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Here, I'll just put this up on the screen while I talk. Check out Toy Armada with Aaron Archer if you haven't. Go sub! I have over 13,000 subs. Why doesn't Toy Armada have 13,000 subs? Aaron's way more talented than this dummy, you know? Anyways, just check them out. Culver's is so good, says Mike Rosen. Yeah, Culver's was amazing. As a Canadian that doesn't have a lot of unhealthy food, I mean, yeah, we're the place of the birth of the poutine, so I get that. That's extremely unhealthy, but everything else is pretty tame in terms of what we eat. So like I love going to the States and just like make me fat. Make me fat. I'm not a fat guy. Make me fat, man, please. I want it. It's so good. Making me hungry, making me salivate just talking about it, you know? Where are we at here? Where are we at? Where are we at? Orlando Chavez, if I miss anything, guys, please just repeat them. I apologize. Orlando Chavez, what are your favorite Transformers that haven't been featured in the cartoons? There's quite a few actually. Especially the Energon toys and the Cybertron toys, which of course are Superlink and Galaxy Force. There was a lot of really good repaints and toys that just never had any show appearances. Uh, and it's a credit to whoever was the copywriter at the time who did the Cybertron stuff. He did a fantastic job of fleshing out some of those characters. But Repugnus, which was a repaint of Undermined from Cybertron. I wish I could pull it out for you guys, but I don't want to knock everything over. Maybe you could kind of see him a little bit. Okay, the bar's right in the way. You can barely see him. He's over there somewhere. But Repugnus from Cybertron. I'm screwing up the camera now. He's a really cool toy. I kind of wish he was in the show because he had like this whole story that he was like building this rebellion from the swamps against Scourge, aka Flame Convoy, and his brother Undermine, which was in the show. He's like revoked him from his family, like he's no longer considered family anymore. Like there's like a whole lore and story with this little, I guess at the time, what was that price point? What was that price point? Because it wasn't deluxe. I guess we could say legend scale. No, it wasn't legend scale because legends was legend. I guess it's a basic price point. Whatever the Omnibots and the Terracons were, I guess. But all that story written in that bio and the Superlink, the little Minicon keys. Let me grab those because here's a cool way. If you ever want to find a way to store your Minicon keys, go to your a coin store, a coin collector store, and get coin pages. That's the best way to store these. And on the back of all of these, they had codes. You can see those little codes that they had on the back. So his Minicon key, not Minicon key, excuse me. Why am I saying Minicon key? Planet Force key. Now I gotta put this stupid thing away. There we go. His Planet Force key had like extra story on the website. Obviously, it doesn't exist anymore, the website, but that was really good use of like non-show characters. Sharkticon from Energon, that's another one that should have got some fiction. G1, most stuff got it. I mean, obviously, like there's, the Micromasters, not all of them got appearances in the cartoon in the Japanese side, so that would have been cool. Of course, when we're talking Beast Wars, you could barely see it, but when you're talking Beast Wars, it's there's so many like Wolfang, K9, what's his name there, Sonar, uh, Optimus Minor, who's like super articulated, ugly little figure. He would have been cool too. What's his story? It's Optimus Primal's little son or something. Tons of great toys there. I could go on and on. Animated had pretty much everyone. I think the only animated toys that didn't appear in the show were all like the weird repaints. Um, it's just some of them I could think of. Just some. Just some. Airy Nuts with the super chat for $2. Airy Nut. Airy Nuts. Retool repaints for Crash Bar. Well, let's just pull that up, shall we? While we discuss that one. Well, he's a junkie on. Where is it? This shows how much news we had. I have like a million slides. So, got to get me some water. I'm so thirsty today. So, he turns into a motorcycle. I'd like to see, honestly, Psykill done from him. That'd be pretty cool. Give me a GoBot repaint. Give me a Psykill that comes apart. Who else is a good motorcycle? We have Groove. We have any of the Laser Cycle characters like Road Pig, because we got Road Rocket, so we need Road Pig. Let's see. We got the very first, what's his name there? Lugnut. The very first Lugnut was Lug Nuts with a Z, was the orange motorcycle from Cybertron. You could have him. What else? What else? More motorcycles from Transformers. Not a lot, really. Not a lot of them. Always very difficult to do. I don't know. I'm going to go with Psykill, though, just because I love GoBots. Growing up, I had more GoBots than I had Transformers. Mind you, honestly, I think a lot of those GoBots were bootlegs of those GoBots, which is even more sad. Not only did I have GoBots growing up more than Transformers, but I had bootleg GoBots. But, they hung out with my McChangeables, It's like, you had bootleg Vanguard with, double Big Mac cheeseburger, going on an adventure with the Commandrons and a bunch of little Micromasters from the Sports Car Patrol. The simplicity of my childhood. I stocked up on Kraft Dinner. Kraft Dinner. Real talk. I have 3 boxes of Kraft Dinner in my pantry upstairs, just when I feel like it. I love Kraft Dinner, aka macaroni and cheese, Canada style, for life. JR Mina, eat some Filipino food if you want to get fat. You know what, JR? There was a Filipino, one of my first mechanic jobs growing up. Um, Excuse me, bad choice of wording. One of my first mechanic jobs was located near a place where I grew up, Plaza Cote de Neige. What Plaza Cote de Neige, which has an extremely huge Filipino community today. Um, it used to be mostly black community, and then it became a Filipino community. They like took over. The Filipinos took over. Now you just hear nothing but Tagalog in the food court. But they had so many Filipino restaurants there, and I remember one of my coworkers who was Filipino, Jomar. I was like, "Hey, you want to go eat the Philippines?" He's like, "Nah, man, that food's disgusting." And I never had Filipino food because of him. Because we would go to Vietnamese, we'd go to Chinese, we'd get like white people food, like, and by white people food I mean like A&W or something, you know. And we'd never go to I guess because he's Filipino and he's bored of it. Shout out to you, Jomar, you crazy bum. He's a good guy. I love him. But yeah, I never had Filipino food. I'd like to have it though. I'm open to any food, man. I always want to try out stuff. You know, anything with a lot of sodium. That's true Asian food is all about the sodium. Oh man, JR Mina, you're dumping it on me here. So we got sising, lanchon, karakara, sinigang. You have to remember Filipinos don't use their F's. They use P's instead of their F's. So if you see an F here, it's with a P. Uh, Longanisas. Oh, I've had longanisas. Oh, I've had longanisas. Those are those little sausages, right? Okay, I've had those. Those are fantastic. Those are really good. I've had longanisas. I didn't know that was Filipino. Those are delicious. I bought those from the Asian supermarket. I didn't know those were. Oh man, those are. Oh man, you're killing me. How much time do I got left? I got half an hour. Oh man, I'm gonna go make some food tonight, yo. I bought a lot of stuff to buy tonight. I actually bought Italian sausages that are like spicy with these rolls. So I'm gonna make these spicy Italian sausage sandwiches, panini style. I'm gonna flatten them. Oh my goodness. Then I have komtombi with broken rice. So I'm gonna have that tomorrow. I also bought because I heard that Delicio is going out of business. I don't know. Do you have Delicio in the States? So Delicio, the frozen pizza company, is going out of business. So I never had their croissant pizza. So I bought their croissant pizzas. I'm not a big fan of frozen pizza because we have so much great pizza here in Montreal. Like the cheap, dirty slices, I like to call it. It's always good. But I never had their croissant pizza, so I bought that. Oh man, I am going to be eating like a mad villain this week, like crazy. It's going to be good stuff. And I'm forgetting stuff I bought. I bought so much. I bought like 2 baguettes. Going to make stuff with that, garlic bread. Good stuff. And again, you're asking me, speaking, what am I going to have on this cold night? It's going to be probably I'm going to have I'm going to make some sausage. What I do is I buy these really good like Vienna rolls. I buy a 6 pack of them fresh. And then I buy Italian sausage with the spicy ones. I cut the sausage when it's raw in half. I put it on a grill in the oven and I oven cook it so that all the fat drips out, but the spices stay and it kind of dries out a little bit. Kind of like a Karnatzel, which is like a Jewish kind of like sausage thing. And then I put it then in the bun. I put it with sauces. I put a slice of lettuce. Oh my God, it is so good. So good. Mm-mm-mm. We always talk about food in the downward half of the stream, but don't worry, I have an announcement at the end for those who stay. It's Mark the Transformer. Yeah. Mark, it might be in the chat today. Is he in the chat today? Can't see I can't see the chat list. It's too long. It's 153 people. Mark might be in the chat today. It's usually Mark and Evan that pop in once in a while. Um, but yeah, man, so good, so good. Ah, So good. So good. But what else? What else did I do this weekend? Not much. Again, it was so cold. It was so cold, and there just wasn't the incentive to go around. I'm such a, before the big V, like summers I looked forward to every single year because there'd always be some kind of crazy event happening in downtown Montreal, outlaw wrestling events I'd go to, like all the fun stuff. Like any time, like when the big V is done, when the big V is truly done, and we could, like, I mean, it's still lingering. I still go to stores. There's still all kinds of craziness that's still kind of with the masks and everything. I still mask too, just to be respectful to people. But to me, when the day comes when we don't have to do that, we can have events, and we don't have capacity limits and stuff like that, and we're truly back to normal, man, it is going to be crazy. It is going to be crazy to the point that I'm worried that Saturday night live streams might suffer. We might have to move it to another day, but it's going to be good. Prince and Phalanx 59. Once a long time ago, when I was in the Navy, I stopped in the Philippines. I'd like to, you know what? It's something where when I go to Japan again, it's something where I'd like to stop by, South Korea, Vietnam, Philippines, like even just for the day, you know, airport land, go around for a bit, get back on the plane, just to say that I've been there and checked it out. It'd be fun. You always got to travel. That's the one thing that blew my mind was when TFCon really started to pick up around like 2010, 2011. Um, I would always try to encourage a lot of the Americans. This is when TFCon was exclusively Canadian. Now it's obviously not, but when it was exclusively Canadian, I remember I used to talk with the Americans and go like, "Hey man, you got to come down." And so many of them were like, "Oh, I don't have a passport." And I was like, how do you not have a passport? And I learned that, a lot of Americans, they never leave their country, and I don't blame them too much because there's a lot of cool stuff to do in the States. I mean, I think as a Canadian, you kind of go like, all right, I'm in Montreal. That's already the coolest city in Canada. Where do you go from there? Toronto, I guess. Vancouver's nice, but it's boring. The rest of Canada is boring. Winnipeg, and no offense to Winnipeg, Calgary, Saskatoon, you know, Ottawa, but those are boring places. Quebec City, blah, you know. It's pretty much Montreal, Toronto, or bust. That's it. So, you want to go to Moose Jaw? No joke, that's a place. It's called Moose Jaw. Uh, you want, like, it's something where as a Canadian you always are going to travel everywhere else outside of your country because it's kind of, outside of those two cities there's nothing else. Where if you live in the States, New York, LA, Florida, Texas, like already those, you could go to Washington, Chicago, like, and that's off the top of my head of like big cities. They know you want to go to Wisconsin, go to Memphis if you love music. What if you're a sports fan? There's Boston. There's so much of that, so I could understand where you don't really need a passport because you're going to stay within your country. But as a Canadian, so it was just me realizing, man, you got to get a passport. So if you want to come to TFCon Toronto, get your passport now. Apply for it now because that way you don't have to wait, and it's a good extra piece of ID to own. That's what I always say. Uh, Michael Koo, Toronto is great during summer because of the farmers markets. Well, Toronto's fun for its Asian community shopping. Toronto has a very huge Chinese population, so there's a huge portion of Toronto that feels like a gigantic Chinatown. You have Pacific Mall, you have the Dragon City, you have the Walmart that is Chinese. It's a Chinese Walmart, it has literally Chinese writing on the side of it. The TMT Mall, which is like this huge Chinese mall, and I say that because if you're a fan of giant robots and Gundam and anime and stuff, there's so many stores related to that in that bubble of it, and really good food. So, need I say more in that case? Michael Koo with the super chat. Sorry, Michael, I missed that super chat. It just popped up now for some reason. Has there ever been a repaint for Predaking? There has never been a repaint officially of Predaking. The closest we had barely. See, we had the original toy, and then they did I think it was a year of repaint. It was either a reissue or one of those Chinese year of repaints where they took that Predaking mold, the original one, and they gave it more of a gold kind of color scheme. It's still the orange, the blacks, and the yellows, but they also gave it a gold hue in some areas. They gave it some new accessories. One of the weapons was a sword from Transformers Prime, and that was about it. And I think that that's why that Titan class one is kind of in a tough situation because what do you repaint that into? A shattered glass version? That's about it. Don't go to Memphis, lots of crime. Well, but what if you want to go see where Elvis came from? Or if you want to look at Memphis wrestling, like Jerry the King Lawler. Hmm? Um, it's funny. That was when the BotCon in 2012, I think it was. What was the Texas BotCon 2012? It was in the Metroplex. That's literally what the name of the place was. Uh, we checked in, and then the hotel staff. Where was it? Was it Fort Wayne, Texas? What year was that? Gosh.
Megatron must be stopped.
We got a new
No matter
YouTube
the
member,
cost.
Michael Butcher, with the 16-month YouTube member. When will we get a new leader, Nemesis Prime Metro? Or Proto. Nemesis Prime leader class? I'm pretty sure we'll get one. I'm pretty sure. We already have the a black repaint of Scourge from the leader class Laser Prime, so I'm sure we'll get another one at some point. Right now, your leader class Nemesis Prime is Scourge from the movie, from Rise of the Beast. You'll get another one at some point. That's our black repaint evil villain. But getting to Memphis, like I remember that someone said, "Oh, we got more super chats." I'll get to your super chat in a second. New Wave Escape. Don't worry, brother. Um, there was just I remember checking in and they were saying like, "Don't go out at night," and I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, "Yeah, don't go out at night." And I was like, "Really? Okay, okay." And we didn't go out at night, but they said that about Texas, so. Where are we at here? So New Wave Escape with the $5 super chat. Finally getting figures we always wanted, thanks to Mark and Evan. Yeah, I'm telling you, those guys are definitely championing that stuff. Give me a red repaint of the Mirage and call it Proto with number 27 on the chest. TF performing the best out of all the HasLabs. Thoughts on the next HasLab? Well, there's both of them right there, although Roddy's in the way, as he should be. Uh, you got the two there. I don't know. I want something that's big, bombastic, and not retail. Look, I think Star Saber's great, but I don't think he should have been a HasLab item. I think he could have been a retail item that everyone should have had an opportunity to get. You know, that's what I say. I don't like the thing with me is I'm lucky. I'm able to get stuff. I feel bad for people that can't get stuff. I feel bad for people that can't get Cosmos. I don't have Cosmos yet. I'll get them at some point. If I wanted Cosmos, I could go tomorrow and get them online, but I feel bad that people are struggling to get them, that it's a headache, that they're scalping. So it's the same thing when I look at the HasLab stuff and I go, here's a $120 item that shouldn't have been $179.99 plus tax and shipping. So if you're going to do HasLab, I want a little more of that and a lot less of that, in all honesty. I want Primus. I want a big mother sucker. I want Majin Zarek from Beast Wars Second the movie. I want, Metro Titan. I want a big sucker. Something that Walmart would be like, "No, I don't want that. That takes too much shelving space." That's what I want. If you're going to do something that you're going to do only once a year and give us like 60 to 90 days to pay for it, I want that. I don't want something that's $179.99, the price of a Titan class, that could be a $120 item. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. You know? And that way it gives people an opportunity. And all the drama that ended up happening with Star Saber afterwards feels like a retail item. A good retail item, but a retail item. I also want to point out, I forgot to show these guys. I'm going to get to the other super chats in a moment. So this is the Rodimus over there. So he has these his two guns that normally has his hot rod, but photon eliminator. Isn't that cool? I know the original Masterpiece did the same, a kind of something similar too, but that's cool. That's so cool. I love it when you have like his combining guns to make Rodimus Prime. That's super cool. But who would it be? I don't know. I don't know. If they do the same, like, Diatlas, I could see a big guy. Maybe they'll do Diatlas, Sonic Bomber, and Road Fire. Do that crazy zone kind of thing. That's I could see that one. Kaz with the super chat for $2. Finally got my Raiden. Keep it thick, Proto. Thank you, Kaz. Um, ugh, I got my Trainbot Shuki here box. This is all I have close to me. I love trains, so something like Raiden speaks to me heavily. I was a big Thomas the Tank Engine kid growing up. Something about sentient stuff, sentient vehicles that talk. Who would have thought, So train bots always speak to me. Sky Gary, that's a good one too, Lizard Sphere X. Yeah, Sky Gary would be nice to get. And Sky Gary turns into a cool playset. And give him the little shuttle pieces and Micromasters, because they're already giving Micromasters with all the other Hasbro Pulse stuff. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down for Sky Gary, but make him retail. You can make him retail. Make him like a Commander class. Come on. Because they're going to put it behind. Look, he's going to be a Commander class size figure, but they're not going to ask Commander class price point. That's the one thing I don't like about HasLab is the pricing structure is a little weird. And with a lot of the stuff going on with Hasbro right now, it's kind of like I worry with that, you know? I worry with that. I really do. And since it's near the end of the stream almost, we got 20 minutes left, I guess I'll do the announcement now. So, uh this Monday, because now it's kind of the NDA is a little cooled off now. This Monday, I will be meeting with Hasbro. I will be part of the Q&A with Hasbro this Monday. And then there will be a little surprise in the future. Let's put it that way. So stay tuned for that. I talk with them. They're in the chat. They know. But the people who are part of the chat, the designers and stuff, they can't control the greed. They can't control that stuff. They're just the hardworking designers and everything who just want to have good product and understand our plight, you know? And the marketers too. Shout out to Ben and Delaney. They also help out. So, but yeah, Sky Gary, that'd be a good one. That'd definitely be an Evan idea. Evan would love to have Sky Gary. Evan, tell Hasui-san to make a Sky Gary. I'm sure Hasui-san would dig that too. Super articulate, not just like boxy Sky Gary that transforms into a playset and a cool shuttle. I love Sky Gary. That's such a great toy. Got bootlegged like crazy though. But what a great figure, the original. Azusa had like cases of that at one point. Good stuff, good stuff. We got 15 minutes left in the stream. But yeah, good stuff going on. So this Monday, Q&A, a lot of cool stuff is going to go down. I have my questions that I'm going to ask. I don't want to say them here, but a lot of deep questions, mostly more business related. But it'll give me an idea because that's the angle. I don't want to just ask the silly question. Are you going to do this character, that character? I have more like deeper questions that'll help me get a better understanding of the future and direction of things. Of course, there'll be a Death Gary gun repaint. You do a red repaint of Death Gary gun. You could do what do you call it? You could then like repaint them afterwards into like even other characters that are not from like fiction. Like that's a very versatile mold. UST a thought with all the obscure repaints done recently and in the future, why hasn't Hasbro done Metro Titan? Because he's a Titan class. The thing is, and I said it in my individual segment about Omega Sentinel just a couple days ago. The problem is the Titan class price point doesn't sell gangbusters. That's the problem. So it's something that the way I see it is they did a repaint of Grand Maximus it didn't meet the $3,000 pre-order, $3,000, 3,000 unit pre-order to get the extra. So that got screwed. So right away they're like, ooh, that didn't sell. Then they did Black Zarek. Black Zarek stayed in stock for a very long time and then even went on clearance on Hasbro Pulse and on Big Bad Toy Store. And I think on Earth Entertainment. So again, that was another repaint that didn't move. The Ark went on sale because they had so many. Cybertron Metroplex went on sale. I think he's still on sale, if I remember correctly. I think on Amazon.ca, the Canadian version, I think he's still on sale. So while I understand people really want the Metroplex mold, and I think it would sell well as just the Metroplex mold, I think Metro Titan's a little bit of a deep cut and it's a big investment. It's one thing if you do like an obscure repaint of a Diaclone character in a deluxe class price point, and Walmart is paying for everything up front as a sold exclusive. See the Walmart exclusive segment where I explain how that works. But when you do, if it was like if Walmart said they wanted a Titan class exclusive, then you get Metro Titan because then Walmart will pay it up front and then it's their problem. There's going to be no leftover stock for Hasbro to worry about. They'll get their little 10% of stock for Hasbro Pulse and that would be the end of that. Throttlebots, Ron Diaz. That's another one I'd like to see. Yeah, I want to see more Throttlebots. I did 2 posts. I showed on my Instagram over there. I did Chase and Goldbug, and I'm waiting for all the others if they ever do make them outside a third party, of course. Get your super chats in now, though. We got only 14 minutes left. Oh man, we're running out of time. We're running out of time. Let's see, what do we got here? What do we got here? I'll read a couple more and then we're gonna call it quits. It's really a crazy crazy cold night. I am literally gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna wrap myself in my bed and I'm just gonna watch some stuff and play some Nintendo Switch, and that'll be it. I've been playing Guardian Tales on the Nintendo Switch. It's a free to play Zelda-like kind of gotcha game with a lot of waifu elements to it, I guess we'll call it. Really like it. It's really fun. Been playing that a lot. So it is what it is, yo. But it's some good stuff. Some really, really good stuff. Where else? What else? What else? What else? I'm trying to think of anything else. But yeah, I'm gonna be there at the Q&A on Monday. It's a Zoom chat. So that's gonna be fun. And it's gonna be actually I probably can't say who's gonna be there because there's some business people that are gonna be there too, but you'll see, guys. You'll see. You'll hear about it on Tuesday, Wednesday for sure. Ron Diaz with the $5 super chat. How far back is Hasbro willing to go with molds for repaints and remolds? Probably whatever is available to them mold wise, because everything now is getting slowly turned into CAD files, which is the good thing. Like, to give a good example, right? If you own the original Beast Wars Rat Trap, right? Like the original 1995 Rocky Bubble Beast Wars Rat Trap flip changer, and then you own the reissue. If you actually look at the reissue, like the rat mode, the mold is different because what they did is they took the original mold, they turned it into a CAD file, which they desperately needed to do after years of not having proper CAD files of all of these molds, which is why a lot of those molds look terrible today. And then they retool it up. So it's something where there's an incentive, it's like, hey, let's go back and do, I don't know, Armada reissues, if they ever decide to do that and take some of those. And then they could then turn them into CAD files in the process too. And then they have those molds permanently safe. So it's something I could see. I mean, we always work with like anniversaries, so it's like, let's see, 2023 is Japanese Armada. So that's why we have all this Armada stuff. 2024 will be Energon. Maybe. Give me a Sharkticon. Energon Scorponok leader class. That way you could get that Scorponok trademark out there again without having to do a movie Scorponok or a big Titan Scorponok. I could see that. You know what? That's going to make sense. That'll make sense, actually. Energon Scorponok 2024. Watch out for it. Let's see. But I could see them going back also and just doing reissues. There's some fantastic molds. That's Sharkticon from Energon is a 10 out of 10 mold. That's a really good one. Toe Line was fun. Energon Rodimus was okay, I guess. That Scorponok mold was really fun. What was another good one? Starscream was good. Any of those Terracons? Oh, Dive Bomb was really good. That little eagle one that was like a ninja. The Double Punch from that Scorponok, yeah, that was a BotCon exclusive. That was a good one too. Mike Rosen with the super chat. Will we get a G.I. Joe crossover with the Snowcat? Well, right now we have the His Tank with Baroness. We got the Awe Striker with Bumblebee. His Tank with Megatron and Baroness. Awe Striker with Bumblebee and Lorenzo, aka Stalker. We have the rumored Sergeant Slaughter that transforms into the triple T. Which character it is, we don't know. I'm assuming Cup or Ironhide. And then we have the Thunder Machine from the Dreadnoughts with Zartan and Zorana and Soundwave. And that's the four that we know thus far. The Snowcat should be a no-brainer because we had a Transformer Snowcat in Energon. Kind of funny how that connects. But I think it's just more if they need to use the Snowcat trademark at some point. Energon RC is a good mold too. That was one of our first RC figures ever in the West that wasn't an exclusive. That's a good one. That's a good mold too. That's the Alita, not Alita, Ariel head sculpt on her, which I dig. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Really good. We got 9 minutes left in the chat. 9 minutes. Again, I just want to take this moment too, while I wait for more super chats, to again thank you all for joining me tonight for yet again another freezing, not every time, but another amazing live stream. But yeah, did I get any other stuff? I didn't get anything else today. It's my goal today was to find stuff, but it was so cold. I just didn't want to do a lot of hunting today. I really just wanted to get my groceries and then call it a day in a lot of ways. It's pretty cold, pretty cold. What was another good one? We gotta get another. We're gonna probably get another Unicron at some point in some shape or form. What it'll be, we don't know. But considering Unicron's related to a certain live action movie coming up, I think that's probably where that trademark's going to land on a new product. Maybe not a crazy full size bombastic something, but we might get like a small little figure Unicron or something, and that'll keep that trademark safe for a while until they could do something appropriate for that name. Certain names, unfortunately, require big characters. Whenever you're talking combiners, you throw a Defensor on something, you throw a Predaking on something outside of a prime character, you throw a Superion, a Bruticus, Menasor, you end up with big price point stuff, and there's only so many slots for something like that. Snowcat equals Ironhide, like in the comics. Yeah, I could see that. Ironhide. That could work. Same kind of shape. They could just do a retool. But they want to do something that's compatible with those O-ring figures too. You have to keep in mind too. Lizard Sphere X, I had a chance to ask Hasbro anything. I'd ask to release as much of the old cartoon and anime into YouTube and have more reason to release new molds of old characters. Well, there's a balance with that. They put out those uploads periodically because if you put it all out at once, people won't watch it all at once. When it works with YouTube algorithms, if you release 3 videos a week, less of them show up in a person's subscriber feed. They actually want to diversify what people look at. I know that's how YouTube is. So I'm pretty sure they want to slowly put out stuff. Not to mention, they also don't want to ruin stuff that could be potentially DVD deals that they could get licensed through other companies or make money through, different TV stations running syndication of some of those. So there's also that kind of thing too. You have to consider. Lizards for X says this is way more. This way more people learn more about all sorts of characters. Oh, okay. I guess you're talking about shows. Yeah, I mean, if you put Transformers Victory on your channel, but then there's probably licensing things that are involved. Maybe the soundtrack that was used in Transformers Victory cannot be used. The theme songs and everything. Transform gatai power upu jikaramo jikaroro bure numasta bi bikitori transforma vikitori. Maybe that's like licensed or something. They have to pay the rights to the singers. Max 5 Martinix with the $2 super chat. What if they do a Prime Legacy Unicron? That would be pretty good. I mean, it's either you do you could barely see my Legacy he's right there. Prime Unicron. You could do him because he's like a small price point figure. You could do like a Voyager or even like a leader class. And then you could barely see him. The Cybertron one also was a deluxe class, so you could do him too. So that's two of them you could do. That's true. Max 5, that's a good idea. Yeah. Prime Legacy Unicron, that give people an opportunity to get that character because he was a Japanese exclusive and pretty pricey today. J.R. Mina, speaking of recolors, just waiting, just waiting for that eventual Cryotech repaint, of course, of the Dragon Legacy Megatron. Of course, J.R. Mina. Number one, they have to do the blue repaint, and it has to come with a little bird. It has to come with Cryo, his little bird. That would be the extra. That should be the extra accessory that comes with him to make him different, outside of a different face sculpt. Ron Diaz, more mercenaries in 2023, different factions. Well, we're going to be getting Terracons if the movie does well. There's going to be a lean on that probably. Maximals, Predacons, we might see more of in mainline product if the movie does well. The movie is really going to, if it is successful, it's going to steer the ship in a lot of ways. So we'll see what happens. And we will take one more question and then we will call it quits for the end of the day. We will call it quits. Studio Series 86 Cyclonus. Well, let's be real. We got a really good we got a really good Kingdom one. I mean, what would a Studio Series 86 Cyclonus would be the Kingdom one without like those nub pieces, like where you could plug the blast effect stuff. It would just be one that was slightly cleaner of that, I guess. But I mean, I think Studio Series Cyclonus hit it out of the park the first time. So, I mean, it was voted the number one figure of 2021 unanimously by the fans. Like, no question. Like, everyone was like that. Like, I was surprised too because I didn't even think that was going to be number one. But I remember the fans were just like, the numbers didn't lie. Like, the winners of this year, which was Cosmos and Victory Saber. Those were, it was with a mix with a lot of other stuff too. But have you seen the latest JT Prime leaks? Well, those weren't really new leaks. It was more JT Prime reiterating everything that we knew thus far. Everything on that list I've talked about at some point, and I think got that information from JT Prime, just at different points. Now it was just all in one place now. So that's kind of it. Best Megazord. Really like the original. Really like the Thunder Megazord. Really like I actually like the Turbo Megazord too. I really like the SPD Megazord. SPD Robo. Police Robo. That's a really good one too. There's a lot. Lightspeed Rescue Megazord's really good. They're big giant robots. They're all awesome. Again, can't go wrong with original Jew Ranger, Daizujin. Third quarter, fourth quarter leaks. Well, I'll check it out. If there was something new that got out there, I'll check it out and I'll talk to JT, see what's up. And we'll have plenty of news on Sunday and Friday and then Monday or whatever. It's going to be a lot. It is going to be a lot of news. Let's put it this way. There's a lot going on. Michael Kuzas Proto, thanks for doing the live stream during your freezing Canadian cold weather. Yeah, it is cold. Where's my phone? Let's see what it is right now, guys. Just to prove it right now, how bad it is. Okay, let's do it right now. Here we go. Come on, load up. I have an older phone. It's not as fast as you guys with your newfangled iPhone 3000s. It's still bad. It's still bad. Let's get the hourly so you guys can know just how bad it was. Oh my goodness. Jeez. At least it gets warmer later tomorrow. So right now, as of this recording, it is, and it just, damn it. It crashed. Great. Time for a new phone. Pyramidas. How can I forget Pyramidas? Pyramidas is one of my favorite. I own Pyramidas. Shout out to Ian, hooked me up with that one. So right now it's minus 16, feels like minus 21. So it's still cold and has overcast. And the warning for the extreme cold is now over, at least. But you could see like, oh, Quebec's getting wrecked. But it's still freezing. It was absolutely bananas this morning. It was crazy. How could I forget Pyramidas, Gold Ranger? Shame on me. Anyways, guys, we're going to call it quits today. We're done. We did our 2 hours with our beautiful fans. Again, check them out, yo. Check them out if you can. The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. If you haven't already, he did a live stream yesterday. Go check that out. He talks about a whole bunch of cool Transformer paraphernalia. Again, Symbiote Studios, thank you for sponsoring us all these years. Awesome stuff. More Symbiote Studios product coming, but check them out, symbiotestudios.com. And the seats for our beautiful cockpit that we sit in every single day. Check them out. And the seats. Hasbro for being bros and always sending me cool stuff too. You know, I hate, but I love also. And I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll see you Monday, Ben, if you're in the chat. And of course, thank you all for the love and support. If you want to support the podcast, if you want to be like the green names here, J.R. Mina, Andy Davis, Lizard Sphere X, Timmy K. Poindexter, X Squire, who else? Abraham, Michael Koo, all of them and more, a whole bunch of them. Again, you can hit that join button and join that way and help support the podcast. If that's not your thing, we also have Patreon. Patreon is another good way to support the podcast. Gives you access to the Discord where we have a lot of cool stuff there too. Gets your name in the end credit scroll. So there's many different ways to support the podcast. Be sure to help us support us any way you can. You know, giving you day-to-day entertainment in the Transformer world. But thank you all for coming. Thanks for all the love and support that you guys give us every single time. I'm out of here. I'm going to go eat. Talking about food makes me hungry. Go play with some robots because that's the best way to live life is the robots in the skies because the Transformers are all dead. Anyone who gets that reference. I'm out of here. Love you all. Take care. It's a beautiful world and I am gone. Roll out.